Hey there, today I'm going to talk about on-trail electronics and why I'm bringing what I'm bringing. I'll go over each item, the basis for each of them, the use case, and share with you some personal experience with these items. Let's start with power. The ones I brought on the PCT are right here. These are Nitecore NB10000 bricks. They're a little over 5 ounces per, and they're great because you can also get the 20,000 NB20000, which weighs more than two of these put together, by the way. What I like is the redundancy. I get 2 ports. I get a USB-C and USB-A, and I can also charge and use it at the same time. Now, on the PCT, I did use the USB-A ports for the Long Trail. I don't plan on using it, and I'll explain why when I get the cables and optimization. The second brick that I'm bringing with me, this little guy right here, this is made by a company called Nimble. This combined 10, 10, 10, 30,000 milliamp hours of charging capacity. And this should be more than enough margin and give me what I need for the trail. So from a practicality standpoint, these 2 bricks, the 2 Nitecore NB10000s, gave me anywhere from 3 to 5 days worth of power on trail. 5 if I stretched it, nursed it, took care of it, and was willing to not charge certain things and let things go. I'll go into that a little bit here later in the video. I added this one, an additional 10,000. Okay, let's talk video equipment and photographic equipment. So not pictured is what I'm filming on, which is my iPhone 14 Pro Max. Has 512 gigabytes of memory. I used it, I've had it for 2 years, and I used it exclusively on the Pacific Crest Trail for my entire thru hike. No issues, and it takes great video, takes great photos, and has really good battery life. Even after 2 years of use, I still have 87% capacity, and I've been managing it well. So it's a great phone, no need to upgrade, good camera. Now what you see here is the GoPro Hero 11 Black. I've had this for about the same amount of time. I used it on my PCT thru hike, and it was responsible for taking a lot of the video and content that I provided you on my hike last year. And I have 1 battery in here, of course, and I brought a spare battery. 1 fully charged battery, using this every day for making content. I could go about 3 days before I had to swap to my spare. And then I could go long legs, 3 to 6 days without having to recharge both of these. So that's a consideration when it comes to power pack selection and cable selection, which I'll discuss further. Okay, now I'm going to shift to GPS and emergency locators / watches. So first and foremost, Garmin inReach Mini 2. Very reliable, popular in the thru hiking community. This has been on the PNT, the AT, the PCT for its entirety, and it's been on a bunch of trips that I've been on separate from hiking. And this is my trusty, I've had this thing for, gosh, almost 3 years now. This is the Garmin Tactics Delta Solar. This thing is freaking awesome. I've used it all over the place. This thing was a great backup during my PCT thru hike. I used this a lot in the Sierra, the map feature and altimeter. I used that while I was going through the high Sierra because a lot of the trail was buried in snow. So this was good for land navigation. It has a compass on it, and it's very reliable. Doesn't require much battery usage, and it recharges pretty quick. The inReach Mini, I could basically track my hikes every day and go easily a week without ever having to worry about charging. The key is to keep the Bluetooth off, and that conserves battery. But I didn't really have to charge this on trail that often. I usually just charge this in town. This little guy I charged every night because I tracked it for hiking and for metrics. Calories expended, distance, elevation change, etc. So this was, and it also tracked my sleep and vitals, which is really, really important just to get an idea of how my body is performing and what adjustments I need to make to my sleep, nutrition, and whatnot. And this really proved its worth in the High Sierra, and I plan on using this for the Long Trail. It is a fantastic watch. I did change the wristbands on it. You can get these on Amazon. I had a desert colored one from the PCT. That thing is just beat to shit. So I changed up and got a new nylon wristband for this. I'm using it all day long, up to 12, 13 hours tracking hiking. The battery capacity goes from about 100% down to anywhere from 50 to 60%. But that allows me for planning purposes to factor in how I use my batteries and recharge. And the good news is it recharges pretty quickly within half an hour from those numbers I just stated. Okay, next thing is lighting. So my primary headlamp is a Nitecore NU25 USB-C headlamp. I use this entirely on the PCT. I've also used this on the AT. It is a great headlamp, and it does have a crack in it right here, probably from just being dropped or used, a lot. It still works, and it is a fantastic light. And there's power indicators every 25% right here. And I usually left camp about 5 every morning, and I used it in the dark for at least an hour to 2 hours a day, and then I used it at night. So I used 25 to probably 30% of the charge every day. So I would recharge this when I get into camp. So whenever I got into camp, the first things I recharged was my Garmin watch and then my light. And then I would shift to iPhone before going to bed and either turning it off or going to airplane mode. As a backup, this is a Rovivon light. This thing is awesome, super bright, and it uses USB-C right there. And it's super light, and what's really neat, it's got this clip. It can clip to the brim of your baseball hat. And so that was great because I wore a baseball hat for most of my thru hike, and this is a great backup. Additionally, it's got a little lanyard thing you can put right here through, and you can hang it in your tent. And I use that occasionally as an overhead light if I needed it in camp. So great backup, super light, about the same weight as the NU25. All right, so charging block. So when I'm in town, I use this Moken. It's a 40-watt charger, and you can see right there, it's got 2 USB-C ports, which is fantastic. So in town, I can charge both my bricks at the same time, or one brick and another device, and you get the drift. And then there's like a LED status indicator showing basically what's fully charged and what isn't based on each port. So this thing is like super, super affordable. You can get it on Amazon, super reliable. I use this entirely on the PCT. I'm bringing it again on the Long Trail. Okay, so let's talk cables. So what's the optimum lineup for what I need? And again, everything I'm about to say is based on the electronics I've shown you and the ports available. So to review, ports available. So I have 2 USB-C ports on this charging brick right here by Nimble. So this is the new one I'm bringing on trail. And then my 2 trusty, reliable Nitecore bricks from the PCT. One USB-C, one USB-C, one USB-A per. And my use cases, so what I'm bringing is, we'll start with the yellow. This is an Anchor USB-C to Lightning right there for my iPhone charging. So I have that as a backup, since my iPhone is an integral piece of gear and I can use it for communications and safety. I do have a backup. This is a Bootop. It's a USB-C to Lightning adapter. I use this a lot on the PCT, so it's really reliable. It works. And like I said, 2 is 1, 1 is none. It's good to have a backup for critical functions. All right, the other 2 cables that I'm bringing are just plain Jane USB-Cs. This is an Anchor USB-C to USB-C cable. and I have an Apple, it's a braided USB-C to USB-C cable. And then I have adapters to charge my Garmin. So this is a USB-C to Garmin adapter, and this worked great on the PCT, and I plan on using it again on the Long Trail with no backup. Okay, media transfer between my GoPro camera and my iPhone, and also micro SD card retention. This is new. I'm bringing this with me on trail. I've had it, I just didn't bring it with me on the PCT. It just stores a bunch of micro SD cards. It's got like 10 slots. So that's that. This is a different adapter, contrary to what I mentioned on my gear video for the Long Trail. I'm probably gonna go with this. This is a dedicated Apple manufactured Lightning to SD data transfer adapter. And then I have this little Samsung micro SD to SD adapter that just fits in there. It's reliable. I've had it for years, and I'm gonna go for it. Okay, so to recap, we're gonna be going with 3 bricks out on trail, and my thought process for this is I need to be able to go reliably 3 to 6 days on trail without recharging all 3 of these. I like having the extra margin. I'm gonna bring it with me this time and see if that actually helps out. That's a little experiment that I'm doing. Every day I charge the Garmin watch, my headlamp, and my iPhone. Those are the 3 primary items I recharge every day. And then items I recharge once every 5 to 6 days would be my Garmin InReach Mini, and also my GoPro Hero 11 Black. So those generally get charged in town along with the power bricks. And I'm using this Moken 40-watt adapter. It's got 2 ports, and experience has shown I can simultaneously charge these 2 and do it fairly quickly in under about 2 hours, which is really nice. And then, so my plan is to charge these 2 simultaneously, shift over, charge that, and I can use the other port to charge iPhone or any other electronics while I'm in town to do an efficient swap. And having the 3rd brick, if my in-town stop is short, I can just charge these 2 really quickly for a top off, or if I need to, I can charge any combination of the 3 and just charge one and move on. All right, folks, there you have it. A recap of my electronics I plan on bringing on trail, along with battery packs, recharging, the thought process behind it, and what I've learned from experience. I hope you enjoy this video and hopes help you as you plan your own adventures. Please like and subscribe if you like the content. And if you have any comments, please go ahead and post them, and I'll be happy to address them. Thanks for watching.